Hello, collective. Welcome back to my channel. This is Divine Eye Mystic Tarot. Thank you guys for joining me. If you're new here, welcome. This is a general reading. This is going to be short. All right. I just pulled a few cards from the Love Oracle to just get a brief message out on what's going on in love, what to look forward to, or what could be happening for you right now when it comes to love, whether this is a past person, whether this is something that you're healing from when it comes to those situations. And for some of you, it could be things that someone coming towards you is going through or dealing with. All right. So do keep that in mind. If there is something that you don't resonate with or something like that, keep in mind that it could be something going on with someone in your energy or someone that is part of your manifestations that may be going through a cycle or going through some things themselves. All right. So this may not necessarily be directly for you, but it could be of significance. Okay. To whatever extent. All right. But I did pull a few cards, but this is the deck that I used. All right. I only pulled three. So the first one is, what is the truth? Came out in reverse. So someone knows what the truth is. They found out what the truth is. All right. Whether you found out what the truth is, whoever this is that needs to know what the truth is. You got, I feel lonely. What's the next card? And I can't do this right now. Can't do this right now. We'll clarify that. And at the bottom of the deck is, it's dark without you. So what I'm getting off of this is the fact that someone, may have made some bad choices that led up to a lot of the things that they have been, emotionally have to deal with. And this is about, maybe someone being indecisive, about what direction to go in, what actions to take for whatever reason. I don't know if they were somebody that had been misled, by things in the past because of, past relationship baggage, emotional trauma, maybe from their childhood, or just, like I said, a bad series of choices that somebody, that led to this moment. But they're feeling some type of way now because of wherever they at right now because of them decisions. Why not justify, clarify the what is the truth? You got the Nine of Wands that came out in the Two of Cups. The Nine of Wands came out in reverse. All right. And somebody now, ain't with the Two of Cups. So they could, have got in, some type of partnership, or, they know this is, like a unified, understanding or something like that. Like it could be, them just feeling like this is what they realizing now, they are feeling like there's, they're having to let something go. Like it's like not knowing what to. I'm sorry, the Ten of Wands. I'm sorry. The Nine of Wands is right here for it. I feel lonely. But Ten of Wands, like somebody's releasing, themselves, of, some responsibility. Like they may not have looked at what they were doing at the time, as something that really, could do without them. You know how some people feel as though just because I know about somebody's situation, I know if I walk away what situation I'm leaving them in, but that's not something that is of your control. It's going to be that way if you stay. It's going to be that way if you go. You know what I'm saying? And they may have known, that they have made, put too much on their plate at the time, or allowed too many things to be something that, they let get in the way, of something that they know was a partnership. You know what I'm saying? And they may not have been as responsible with you as they should have then. you know what I'm saying, to other endeavors or have taken action. It's like somebody giving more action to things that were not relevant. You know what I'm saying? They may have put more time, more action, more attention, more effort into things that, was not concerning them so much, as what mattered to, it's like misdirected actions. You know what I'm saying? That somebody had, like they may have, handed, involved themselves in like just too many different endeavors. You know what I'm saying? Too many different situations that may or may not have, needed their involvement at all. And it's like them releasing themselves of what at one time was a lot of responsibility, a lot of burden, and things like that that may not have been of their control. You know what I'm saying? Like this is things, I feel like there are things that this person did not realize was not part of their path. Like it was none of your business. It wasn't, for them to be like somebody had a lot going on even if they didn't tell you. But the point is, like, and then you got the high priestess out here. When it comes to somebody asking, like wanting to know the truth, you know what I'm saying? Using their intuition, their discernment. You know, they could be a Pisces, don't have to be, could be a Cancer as well, with the Two of Cups out here. The Aries, Leo, Sage with the Nine of Wands, the Ten of Wands, the Nine of Wands out here. So at this point, it's like somebody feels as though like they know, they either know what the truth is, you know what I'm saying, or they know what the truth is. When it comes to this connection, when it comes to this partnership, when it comes to this, entanglement, whatever, you know what I'm saying, they know what the truth is. Like, and it's like something somebody is not letting bother them, weigh them down, keep them, looking at it like, it's something that, they need to be bothered by. You know what I'm saying? And it's like knowing what to release, from your energy, release yourself from that don't serve your higher self. You know what I'm saying? And it's like somebody intuitively, asking, you know what I'm saying? Or somebody knowing like what the secret was. So if this is about, somebody actually maybe got into some type of entanglement, or the reason why they, went in another direction with somebody else, or they, ended up taking on more than they, biting off more than they can chew. You know what I'm saying? And not realizing a lot of that shit was not their responsibility. It was not, and it's like somebody may have been going through things that they may have let a connection between you and them die because they had so much going on or had so much on their plate that had nothing to do with you. It had nothing to do with you. And I feel like, you wanting to know the truth is the reason why, this is out here. And it's like somebody knows that you know the truth, whether they told you or not. And vice versa. Like they know, you know what I'm saying, you know the truth, whether you told them or not. You know what I'm saying? But again, they know that whatever reason why you and them, had this attraction to each other, or some type of, partnership or, love situation or whatever the case may be, like they know what the real is. And like somebody already done intuitively, they know They know And the only reason why this High Priestess card is out here is because it was at the bottom of the deck when I was clarifying, this card. So I just kept it out, as a reminder, as, the card was saying, like, what's the truth? And with the High Priestess out here, the truth is, like, somebody knows, the secrets. They know, what it is that ain't being said. Whether they know, or they know now that, you know what I'm saying, what it is. They know what you know, or they know that you know. You know what I'm saying? It's like that. Even if they don't know how much you know, they know you know. And that's all you need to know. Okay? But you got I Feel Lonely. The King of Swords in reverse came out, and the Four of Wands. So, like I said, they were indecisive at one time. They were. and they were, I ain't gonna say clueless, but they didn't know exactly, like, if they went in that direction, what I'm saying, would that be the right decision? Like, being indecisive about your happiness is the worst thing you can, do when it comes to you not getting to the manifestations, you know what I'm saying, that you putting out there. You have to have confidence. You have to have ambition. You have to have, that assurance, you know what I'm saying, for yourself. You got to have that they gonna love me for my ambition is what I'm hearing. Ambition by Wale. But yeah, this person, at one time was, maybe indecisive, like they didn't know. But it's like feeling stuck. You know what I'm saying? And it's like now they feel lonely because at one time, this person knew what they wanted. You know what I'm saying? They knew what they know the happiness they wanted, but this person didn't know maybe how to express it, or they didn't know, how and who, to open themselves up, or to, what I'm saying, reveal that too. And now somebody feels lonely. You know what I'm saying? They could be, in a community. They could be in a home. Now they could have gotten a new place. They could have relocated. But it's a thing of them not being sure, of themselves at the time. Like they may not have known, if that person still wants something with them. You know what I'm saying? Like if they knew you wanted a four of wands, or a 10 of cups, you know what I'm saying, 10 of pentacles with them, or they wanted this with you. It's like they didn't know for certain, like if they went in that direction, if things would work out. You know what I'm saying? And it's a lot of misdirected, communication too. Because I feel like, they may have gotten in situations where they may have said, something, like how you say it, like how some people say, um, like if somebody don't have like a positive way or a healthy way of like expressing, they got boundaries, or I got self respect, I got self discipline. They don't have a decent, respectable, what I'm saying, authoritative, way of expressing themselves. It can be misdirected. So it's like somebody like going out of their way to do something out of spite, or saying something, out of spite, but they really want something else. You know how, like, if you tell somebody, how somebody say, I'm gonna finally tell that girl that I got a crush on, that I like her, and that girl may laugh at me. She may, reject me. She may say something to put me down. She may tell all her friends that I asked her, and everybody pick on me. You know what I'm saying? Or it's like, and they go toward that person and they tell them, and it's like that person all of a sudden, get rejected, or they realize, or one of them things that they was feeling happens, and they say, oh, that person, that person told me that you try to shoot your shot with them, and they were saying this and saying that about you, and all of a sudden, you get hit with that brick in your chest, like, damn. And now you saying, how some people feel when they get rejected, and you a younger person, you in elementary or something like that, and the girl you like says something derogatory about your approach, when you had to build up the courage to even say something to them. But when you do, and somebody come back to you, or it get back to you that person, what you were thinking intuitively they did, or you may have, indirectly, you know what I'm saying, like, what I'm getting at is when they tell you that person did what one of them things that you felt like they might do, and you be embarrassed by it, or feel, everybody doesn't know, everybody gonna know now that that's your crush and stuff like that, especially if they reject you. and they tell you, okay, yeah, that person, they did tell people that you step to them, try to shoot your shot, you like them and stuff, and they were saying this and saying that about you, some negative stuff, and you like, oh, I don't care, I ain't really like that person anyway. I just said that, to see what they was gonna do, but deep down, you really did want that person to have something, nice to say back to you. You did, you really was hoping that person didn't go that route. You know what I'm saying? And that person may have said it because they didn't want nobody to know that they like you too, but they didn't want to get picked on either. You get what I'm saying? It's giving that. That's what it's giving. But at the same time, this person, nine of wands, like they at some point know that, you know what I'm saying, the choices that they done made done landed them where they at, and it's not gonna stop you from being, in something happy and harmonious. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, it's not gonna stop you, from achieving whatever it is that you feel you deserve, in love, in, a relationship, in a marriage, or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? And they may have been indecisive, about if, that's a choice that they made, and it's a wrong choice. But it's also given that, somebody at one time they made a lot of bad choices for whatever reason. Maybe they fall too fast for somebody, or for people, or the people in the past, and that person wasn't really who they said they were, or didn't really feel how they said they felt. Maybe they were only there because they wanted, to see how much this person would give of themselves. And this is, like giving somebody that gave too much of themselves at some point. More than one time. More than one time. But this nine of wands reverse is giving like somebody like feeling like whatever they done tried to do or wanted to do didn't work. You know what I'm saying? It's like letting go of whatever. Because this nine of wands came out to clarify this king of swords in reverse. So whatever indecisiveness they had going on that got them feeling lonely now, that they has them feeling, oh, that, I'm oh so lonely. It's the fact that this person knows that if they, at one point didn't want a relationship, two of cups, and they deep down, maybe, was involved with somebody already that they didn't know where it was gonna go, or they were hoping that person, was not a waste of time and not a slap in the face, because they, what I'm saying, they could have been, they chose somebody over you. I didn't get the Five of Pentacles yet, but at the same time, it's given like somebody, in the back of their mind, they knew what they wanted. But being indecisive don't mean at some point deep down what you want. But whether you making a decision out of, confidence, or you making it out of fear, either way, you know what I'm saying, it's a decision that you have to be prepared for whatever the outcome is either way. You know what I'm saying? But it's like somebody feeling like they need to let go. Like it's something that they may have, tried to work on, or had, plans, to work something out, and it just hadn't worked out in their favor. I feel like somebody may have, said that they indirectly like said what, being indecisive, about what they want, why they want it. You know what I'm saying? Who they want it with. And it's like them being indecisive, mainly came from them not knowing, what maybe other people would say, or if this is like a repeat or something they gonna regret. You know what I'm saying? But it's a lesson learned. Like it's something that they gonna have to learn, in time. Um, and it may be something that they've already, set in motion. You know what I'm saying? To really think on when it comes to their happiness. Because a lot of times, some people, don't think about something, deep enough, or at, to that level until somebody popped the quick. Like some people don't think about how they would be as a parent until they get a because I wanted to say pregnancy test. It's like somebody, get, hit with them questions like, girl, you must be pregnant or something like that. And you thinking all this time, you don't want kids, and I've been with this person for, not very long or for a good amount of time. And if you start seeing that, people starting to ask you, you glowing, what's going on? You must be pregnant. And it like, duh, nah, no, no. And then all of a sudden that being asked happens more than one time, and then it happens again, and then it starts to be something on your mind as to where you end up, looking at yourself as maybe being a parent at some point, and then it doesn't come to mind. It's something that you didn't really think about until people start asking you, or wondering if you were pregnant or not. And it's like, well, all of a sudden people asking me that. It's like that. It's like being asked that out of the blue randomly, not just one day, not just 2 days, but it may not happen in a row, but it starts to happen at a time where you noticing it's out of the blue and it never happened before. And as much as you may not have thought about being a parent, now you're thinking about it because why they asking you that? You know what I'm saying? You may not even be involved with anybody and somebody asking you that. You know what I'm saying? You may not even be doing nothing. But it's something they see, or it's something about you that's giving off, that. And you may not even think about being a parent until that happens. And it's like somebody actually being presented with the possibility of, being married, being in a home, with people seeing them now, in a community where they got a significant other now, and, they, in a harmonious, kind of situation, partnership, marriage, you know what I'm saying, home. And it's like somebody in the home, but they, it's like they indecisive about leaving, or they indecisive about, yeah, somebody indecisive about leaving, or even being here. They may come off like they happy here, you know what I'm saying? Maybe, them, feeling like, I'm in a good place, I got my place now, and stuff like that, but they lonely there. And it's mainly because this person actually at one time felt like, whatever they were trying to say or do, or really wanted, it was, something that was like misdirected, you know what I'm saying? And it may have just been a flex. It may have been them, just saying, hey, I'm trying to get my money together. I'm trying to get this crib. I'm trying to, what I'm saying? I seen this. I want that. Whatever the case may be. But it's like, now that they got it, they may not have wanted to let you know they wanted it with you. And they may have had, this like, I don't know, child. Because I feel like somebody really wanted you there. But they had like this. Somebody had like this, I would say mixed emotions, but I'm just saying it's out of power, you know what I'm saying, and like a flex. And they may have, felt like, I'm gonna go in this direction with this person, since that person don't want to talk to me, since that person, don't, yeah. Like if they feel like another person is not gonna chase them or something like this, like, well, I'm gonna be over here with them. You know what I'm saying? Instead, and it's like being there and being home and being lonely while you over there. Because I really feel like somebody, went towards something else, or went in, went after something else. When it came to this 4 1s, because they felt like, it was going to send a message to the other person, or get back to another person, or it's going to, make it good for them in that way, to where it looks like it was a flex for them to do it either without you, or to do it, with somebody else, or by themselves. You know what I'm saying? It's also giving like somebody, the wheel is always turning. So at this point, what didn't work out, or whatever they felt like, was a loss because, they may have tried to do things, that kind of like showed they wanted something or something like that, or they. Mm-mm. I feel like somebody, yeah, somebody didn't have boundaries. You know what I'm saying? Like they were not making, even with the Queen of Swords, it's like in the upright, King of Swords in the upright, it's like somebody making clear communication and telling you, what they want and being, very, I ain't gonna say blunt, but very clear. I want this, I want that, I want this is what I want. This is what I feel like, this is what I know I deserve. I know that I'm, you know, prepared and willing to be what I say I deserve. I'm ready to give what I know I can reciprocate. I'm willing to display what I know I've learned, the lessons I've learned. You know what I'm saying? And this is why this Nine of Wands is in reverse when it comes to clarifying this King of Swords. Somebody at one time did not give you clear communication as to what they wanted. They may have said, I don't know if I want something serious right now. But now they, I don't know. It's like somebody didn't know what they wanted, in terms of their happiness. And if they said they were happy with you, they may not have, made it clear that they were happy enough with you to move forward into something like a Two of Cups, a partnership, you know what I'm saying? Some unified, you know what I'm saying? Equally felt, you know what I'm saying? Balance, you know what I'm saying? Because it was there. You wanted it, they wanted it, but it was like somebody was indecisive at times, and it was like they did things, to kind of make it seem like that. Oh, I got other people. You know how somebody will say, "Well, I got other people to interview for the job, so, but I will, be reviewing applications. I got another interview tomorrow, or it's like that. It's like how you go in there and get that interview, and they'll tell you that they got somebody else, three or four other people to interview, and they maybe not say, they really probably don't. You know what I'm saying? That's just a flex to see and get you to read. You know what I'm saying? To be expecting them to call you because they want you to believe that there's some more people knocking the door down to get in there, and it probably really ain't. And if you know their history, and if you don't, know they got a reputation, you already know they lying. Because if they always hiring in that position at that particular location, you already know what it is. Especially if somebody put you on to applying for them and knowing you're gonna get the job anyway, because they need the help. You already know they need the help. You ain't gonna say that, but you're gonna, take the initiative, take the steps and apply. But you're not gonna go in there, and act like you don't want the job just because they act like they got 99 other damn people to interview and you already know they don't. It ain't, you know what I'm saying? You ain't going in there doing that, but they're going to play their cards like that. Now, they may have other people to interview, but the point is, they going to let you know that they don't have to. They don't have to. It's a flex because it's a silent flex. They just want you to know that it's other people interested in the job. They may not even interview no more that day, no more that week. And they may take that long to call you back. But it's like that. You know what I'm saying? But at the bottom of the deck, you got the Five of Cups in reverse. So at this point, it's like somebody knows that if they did, was grieving over a loss, it's still opportunity for them to, come back from that. It's an opportunity for them to, maybe approach that situation differently, you know what I'm saying, and see what else is out there, if there is another opportunity. Because they feel like as though whatever the passion was at one time, they may have felt like, is, you done lost it, to want that with them now. Maybe because they were indecisive. Clarify, I can't do this right now. What is it they can't do right now? Clarify, I can't do this right now. Like I said, you got Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio out here so far. And you got Aries and Sage out here. I can't do this right now. What is it they can't do right now? You got the death in reverse. So somebody can't, what they, can't do right now is, make some changes, you know what I'm saying, and get out of their own way and go through this transition. They may feel like, and this could be, them, just not wanting to. And it could be just them not wanting to, possibly like go through whatever it is, especially if they don't feel like they need, you know what I'm saying? Like they don't feel like it's them. And they could be resisting change, especially if they feel like, it's not them. You know what I'm saying? Or it's not about them. They may be, playing victim. You know what I'm saying? But it's at that moment where somebody has to take some type of accountability. You got the Six of Cups in reverse. Somebody, maybe, now just don't want to be looked at the way they once were. If they feel, especially if they feel like, the way they are, the ways they have, the way they see themselves and stuff like that, the way you done saw them, they may feel as though that that's not something they can they can erase you knowing how they once were because of how you saw them, or that you had to see them like that and behave the way they did, and be that kind of person, especially if they want to come towards you again as, a mature man. They already knew at one time when they were trying to come off as the mature man, they were not making mature decisions from a mature place. And if they were talking a good game, they don't want you to know. They don't want to, face. It's like intimidation. You know what I'm saying? They could be a little intimidated. They could even feel like, at one time they were competing with you, especially some. I heard a lady say today that she was FaceTiming with a guy and he was supposed to, go on a date with her. And he told her that he go after people that don't really have much. You know how some people like, why do people that got they, got a little something going for them, people, other guys opt out of talking to them or taking them seriously and, rolling out the red carpet for them and just treating them, with star quality, for doing such hard work on themselves and, being responsible for so much, and maintaining that. Okay. He said that he only do that because he knows if he takes them to some place to eat out and it's not a fine, dining restaurant or something like that, they not gonna complain. Wherever they take them to, they gonna, just be happy to be on that date with that person wherever they at. They not gonna have, a certain high standard quality of a date, to be going to this place or go to that place, and they, can, kind of determine what they want to do, based on that. Because that person just gonna be grateful that that person even took them out to eat wherever they going. But he knows that if somebody can take themselves out to eat wherever they want to go and pay for their own gas and go home and take care of their own bills, it's not something he can really take from her if he don't take her out, if he don't buy her this, if he don't fill her tank up every week or every, week or so. She can do it herself because she already doing it. So it ain't like he can, hold back from her his money, his time, his emotions, because she already supplying it for herself. Whereas somebody that don't really have it and they going through something and they just want the company and they want to have, a shot at, the possibility of being with somebody they want to be with them and, give that equal give and take, they have a better chance at doing that with somebody that don't already balance out with them, don't really already equal up to them. A woman that can really, do without them and be self-efficient, not just so independent. Like she said, self-efficiency, Nine of Pentacles, and independence is two different things. You know what I'm saying? So if they can't inconvenience you, then you are competition to them. And that may have been how this person, King of Swords was. They may have, been more of looked at you in this connection as more of a competition of rather, being with you would mean, they would have all this responsibility on them, or if it would be something that being with outside people or people of the past that didn't require as much of them, was just easier. You know what I'm saying? Or being by themselves would just be easier. And they wouldn't have to decide. They can just still, they can just dibble and dabble here and there and especially with people that don't have boundaries. They don't really, you know what they want because they're not sure if they're going to even get it. You know what I'm saying? Or if they deserve it or whatever. But it's like somebody knows they don't want to change. You know what I'm saying? And they may have been struggling with accepting, you know what I'm saying, they fault in things. Because with this Six of Cups in reverse and this with the Emperor in reverse at the bottom of the deck, it's like somebody knows they got things about them that is not gonna be what somebody like you is deserving of or wants. You know what I'm saying? At all. And this is why somebody's in a dark place. Yeah. This is why they're in a dark place. And they know that you're somebody that's faithful and things like that. But it's like, someone could, and they could be able to be faithful. But it's a thing of them not having, a lot of confidence. But also, this is somebody that not all the time do they get what they want. And the majority of the time it's because they are very controlling, you know what I'm saying, and trying to control it or doing things to kind of, help them navigate, you know what I'm saying, and create moments. Like, I ain't gonna say playing games, but they not clear with their communication. They're not clear. Like somebody does not make what they want known. They don't lay it out there like that. You may lay it out there like that, but they and that may make this person feel as though they being rushed, or they make them feel small because they not like that. Instead of just complimenting you, on the fact that that's a strength for you, but that strength, it may make somebody feel like they need to do something or say something, to make it seem as though that they have some type of maturity or control about themselves when they really don't. And they could come off and be looked at as like reckless. You know what I'm saying? Why is this death in reverse? Why is the death in reverse? I can't do this right now. What's the death in reverse? Clarify. Death in reverse. Yeah, you got the Nine of Swords in reverse. This communication that ain't being had is running somebody ragged. It's, yeah, Four of Swords is even reversed at the bottom of the deck. So whatever it is that they feel like, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, somebody feels as though like whatever communication ain't being had, they know why it is, but it's like, they maybe can't get it out of their head, to know what may come up if they do, come back around and want to communicate. It's like something they have to look at as, I don't want to have to hear, I told you so. I don't want to have to be reminded of, exactly what's my fault. You know what I'm saying? Don't want to tell this person, yeah. Then you got the Ten of Swords in reverse. And it's like somebody being read they rights. It's like somebody could also have been, well aware, like I said, what's the truth? What is the truth? And if you know what it is about a Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, or if they know a Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio know, you know what the truth is. They know what the truth is. They know what you know now. Or they may not know how much you know, but they know you know. They know you know, even if they didn't tell you. But the point is, it's like they can't bring themselves to say something to you, but it's getting worse. It's getting worse before it get better. And it's like somebody just they can't rest. Like somebody being haunted, with the things that were said. Especially if somebody said things to just try to keep a cycle from ending, just trying to prolong, procrastinating and, saying what they could say just to keep the cycle open, you know, it doesn't work anymore now. And if somebody knows that they can't do that. And they'll tell themselves anything just to make it seem as though they don't feel like it's, truly over. You know what I'm saying? It's like somebody not wanting to have that talk with you because they don't want to find out that even if they come to you and talk, that you still, you know exactly why you don't want to fuck with them no more. It's like that. It's giving that. And it's like being faced with their reasons why, even if they don't change them. But it's a reminder of why you walked away. So even, I don't get that shit. Like some folks be wanting to inflict the bullshit, but then had a nerve to try to tell you how to feel about it. And how long you should feel that way. And when you should fuck with them again, because of it. And after that shit crazy. Give me one card on the overall outcome moving forward. What's the overall outcome moving forward? What do they need to know moving forward about this? Yeah. You got the world. You got the Seven of Swords at the bottom of the deck. This is a cycle that doesn't end it. This is something that needed to end, had to end in order for something new to begin. And this cycle may be over. It may be something that, doesn't reach this completion. But when it comes to something, new to begin, it's out with the old, in with the new. You got the Seven of Swords, you got the Eight of Cups at the bottom of the deck, and you got the Ace of Cups in reverse. Yeah, this cycle over. Yeah, it's the ending of a cycle. What's the world? Could be traveling, could be relocating. What's the world? Say about the world moving forward. What's the world moving forward? Future actions. What's the world? Yeah, some of you traveling. Yeah, you got the Hermit. With the Four of Cups in reverse. And somebody could be coming towards you with this world out here. And you may meet somebody, while you traveling. Could be a hermit at this time. Or they could be in hermit about traveling. And this could be something that, may have been ending out. This, like I said, this could be something that is going on, with a person, in your energy coming towards you. Maybe this is a past person or something, somebody coming towards you is dealing with, or somebody new in your energy. This may be their situation that they walked away from. Okay, so take it how it resonate. Um, but somebody, with the Four of Cups in reverse is like letting go of whatever this is that at one time was a one track mind, them being stubborn, in the past, and having that one way of seeing things, just being inflexible, holding back, and things like that. Like they releasing that now. Especially if they were penny pinching and trying to save money or making it, something that they felt like, was more important because they, were maybe trying to hold back and not give too much of themselves or something like that at a time where they, it made them look indecisive, like they didn't know if, being with somebody was going to make them happy or something like that. And it's like somebody may have, wanted more, somebody to show them more so that they could make a better decision about themselves, being in this direction or going in that, on that path. But at the same time, it's like releasing, what it is that they know has been the issue. You know what I'm saying? And I'm also getting, moving forward, with this world and a hermit, like you could be, focusing on travel. You could be a hermit, like I said. Because I do feel like there's a lot of you or somebody in particular that's not letting, things that other people were struggling with, and I don't blame you. That other people are struggling with, when it comes to them getting out of that slump, of bad connections and bad choices, you know what I'm saying, forgiving themselves and going through the healing, and having more confidence and keeping their vibration high, about the things that they manifested. Because truth be told, like if you're not sure about what you really want, the slower it's gonna take for it to come anyway. You know what I'm saying? So you're not fooling nobody. No, you can't fool you. You know what I'm saying? You can fool yourself, but on the outside looking in, um, it's gonna look like a facade. It's gonna feel like a facade. It's gonna be a facade. You know what I'm saying? You have to just call it, a spade a spade. But you got to have that confidence about yourself to know, you know, it's like raising your hand when you know the answer is right. You know what I'm saying? And you'll keep that joint raised and get pissed off if you don't get called on soon, because you know that I know the answer. Like you know what I'm saying? I'm right here. It's like that when you know, and when you know what you want, you're not gonna settle for anything less. And I feel like somebody now sees, especially you, what the lesson is that they needed to learn. Because for one, somebody, I mean, they wanted happiness. They want, stability, abundance, and things like that. They want harmony. Whether it's in a home, a community, celebrating and stuff like that. But at the same time, you have to understand, why you where you at, and the fact that you know, made some Mr. Indirect communication about something out of, trying to flex, like you got some power and shit like that, or and then shit done backfired. You know what I'm saying? And now it's like somebody maybe sitting in a home or have this or be in a community where they feel like, um, they done reached, made some type of, had some type of success. But what's that? How that song go? It's like having a home. It's like having, that nice place and, living in a nice community and stuff like that. But it's like somebody being constantly reminded of you only here because you only here by yourself because you chose to make somebody feel or say indirect things about whether you really wanted them around or not. And now that nine of wands in reverse, that you feel like ain't nothing you can do now to go back and fix that because you already said what you said. And this person could have lived at a distance, or they could have been distant with you. Four pentacles in the upright, but it's in reverse now. That somebody's releasing, that way of being, that way of thinking. You know what I'm saying? They're letting go of like trying to use it as a way to control, the outcome. They releasing it, but right now, they could be wanting to travel towards you, but they could be in hermit about whatever it is that they know is going on with them now as to their decisions, being where they at. But I'm gonna end it here, collective. They in a dark place right now. You know what I'm saying? They in a dark place right now. But you could be getting into traveling, you could be in hermit or this is your person. You know what I'm saying? But they releasing a lot of things, a lot of things are falling away, but at the same time they dealing with the things that done been said and the communication that they having, whether it's with their ancestors in, their spirit team and things like that. But let me get one more on this death in reverse. What's the death in reverse with the Nine of Swords in reverse? Clarify the death in reverse with the Nine of Swords in reverse. You got the Four of Swords in reverse with the Ten of Pentacles. Two of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. Somebody not doing well, when it comes to them laying something to rest. Somebody don't like, the reason why somebody is damn near ill, when they think about, what was said, what wasn't said, what they can't say, and accepting, where they at right now, with the truth. And if somebody having to admit, what the truth is as to why they feel this way and why they in this situation when it comes to this Ten of Pentacles. Damn. And this is why, with this Two of Pentacles in reverse, somebody at the bottom of the deck, like somebody was indecisive, you know what I'm saying? But they were juggling, like what direction to go in, how to, they finances, who they felt like, was going to be, the right option, you know what I'm saying? The right direction. Like somebody's priorities were not balanced, you know what I'm saying? Somebody had their priorities in order. And it's like somebody don't want to tell you that they were juggling. They may have been juggling finances. They may have been juggling, their decisions on where to go, where they felt like they were going to have this Ten of Pentacles at. Like where they were going to have more stability and balance and shit like that at. And they could have, had a loss when it comes to, this Ten of Pentacles, like an inheritance and, that abundance, that stability, you know what I'm saying? Financial security. But this is their karma. At the bottom of the deck, you got the Two of Pentacles in reverse and the Justice. Yeah, and the Lovers. But I'm gonna tell you something, collective. I feel like Yeah. I feel like what's coming towards you, new is what's better for you, but I feel like you already know that. But at the same time, I feel like there's somebody that wants to have, what they couldn't have at one time. And I feel like the only reason why they're not going after it is because they know they're going to be reminded, and they're going to be have to be responsible for take responsibility for what's going to come of them coming towards you, whether they refuse to make the changes and accept their accountability in the situation or not. Mm. But I'm gonna end it here, collective. Make sure you guys do something nice for someone today, even if you don't know them. Make sure you hit that like, that subscribe button on your way out. This is Divine Eyed Mystic Tarot. Until next time, those of you that genuinely love me know that I love you too. Mwah. Bye.